boss. Don't you know I'm a, don't you know I'm a, don't you know I'm a. Of course, haters do it like a boss.
Welcome, family and friends. Earlier this month, I had a chance to go to the Astro fan meet, so I thought it would be really cool if I shared my experiences and also at the end shared a few clips of some videos that I took at the fan meet. So first of all, the fan meet was in DC. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I think I've already said in a few other videos how much I enjoy Astro, and it was even better that they had the fan meet in DC, because even though DC is the nation's capital, not very often do artists seem to come here. They go to the East Coast and they go to New York, which there are so many people in DC who are K-pop fans that they can definitely hold concerts and fan meets here without any problem, because there's enough of an interest. But often we end up having to travel to New York or somewhere else. It was really nice for them to be in DC. So K-pop promoters, K-pop artists, please come to DC. We will welcome you with open arms. Yeah, and it's great. It's a great place to visit. It's a lot of fun stuff here to see. So got to go to the fan meet in DC, which was also good because it was in the middle of the week. And I have a full-time job. If you didn't take that out of any of my other videos, I have a full-time job. So had to go to work, regular day. I actually left an hour or two early. And the great thing about it being in DC, I'm in Maryland. So the great thing was driving to the metro station, dropping off my car, and then being able to take the metro in, because we all know parking in cities is like the most horrible thing ever. So got to take the metro in. There happened to be a metro stop right across from the venue, so that was great. The other great thing about where they were in DC, they happened to be in an all-seated venue, which made it really good, because then you don't have to worry about getting there at 6 a.m. because I think I've mentioned in another video how I am not the tallest person in the world. I'm not the shortest person in the world, but I'm not the tallest person in the world. So the venues where you have to stand are not really my cup of tea. But the lines were wrapped around the building by the time I came. I think I came later than I wanted to, because it ended up being a sort of rainy day. But I think I was there at least 30 minutes, if not almost an hour before the show was supposed to start. And the lines were around the building, both sides of the building. They eventually kind of figured it out, and the line started moving so that we could get in at about the time the show was supposed to start, because for a minute there it looked like the show was just gonna have to start late, or just a lot of people were gonna miss the very beginning of the show. So they ended up working it out, figuring out how to get everyone in. It was great. They didn't have a lot of merchandise on sale. You can normally buy merchandise before or after the show. I think they only had about 4 things on sale. And Astro has a really cute star symbol, and I like their color. It's like this purplish reddish. I'm not exactly sure the name of the color, but it's a really cute color. I kind of wanted the baseball cap, but the baseball cap was like $40. And I was like, not this time, not this time. I'm gonna have to save my coins for the next time. Yeah. If you guys don't know about fan meets, so fan meets are, I think they're really cool. It's a little bit different. They're supposed to have a little bit more of an intimate feeling. You have them perform songs like they would at a concert. They perform like maybe 6 songs or so. And there's also a time for Q&A. So like before the tour started, because they went to I think maybe 4 or 5 different cities in the United States. Before the tour started, the promoters asked fans for different questions to ask Astro during the fan meets. And so there's a Q&A session, and then there's also a time where they play games. And if you've ever watched any Korean variety shows, the games are always entertaining, and even more entertaining are the punishments that people have to do after losing a game. So that was really fun. It's great to watch the interaction. Unfortunately, even though it's a smaller venue, it's not like you're able to still really interact with the artists. So it's not like the fans were talking to Astro or anything. but you know, you're a little bit closer, so they'll make hearts at the fans, and sometimes if you're really close, like those first couple rows, maybe they'll pose for a special picture for you while they're like not actively being engaged in a game or something. But it's just entertaining to watch them play the games, watching them perform. If you've ever seen Astro are phenomenal performers, so watching them do their songs is always great. And then you have the time for Q&A where you feel like you can learn a little bit more about them. And you know, Astro are pretty funny, they're great entertainers, so they'll say things to make you laugh or just that are interesting. But yeah, that's fan meets. If you haven't been to a fan meet, as opposed to a concert is a lot more songs are performed during concerts, and they still may have a bit of time where they speak to the audience. Like Astro has some time to speak, and big ups to Jinjin, we already know Jinjin speaks English, but Eunwoo also was Shaeunwoo spoke a decent amount of English during the DC fan meet, and you could tell he had practiced a lot and had different things that he wanted to say. All of them said something in English at some point, but Shaeunwoo, Jinjin definitely spoke a lot of English, so I give them a lot of props for that, because speaking another language is definitely not easy, but they did a great job. All right, so the other thing about fan meets, I think fan meets even more so than concerts, which concerts focus on them doing songs, and there may be a little bit of time where they have something pre-planned that they say to the audience. Even more so, I think fan meets focus on you having benefits. So sometimes with concerts, you may not get anything extra, like it might just be the ticket and like you get early entry or something. Every once in a while, the concerts will also come with extra benefits, but I think fan meets even more so tend to come with extra benefits. So sometimes you may get a signed poster or a signed CD or something with your ticket. In this case, P2 had high touch, and if you don't know what high touch is, it is literally walking down the line, high-fiving each member of the group. And P1 had group photo, which is it's done two different ways. Either the artists stay seated and they just walk you in groups of like between 6 and 10 people, just walk you in behind them to take a picture, or the artist will be standing and they'll have 6 to 10 seats in front of them, walk in, sit down, take a picture. So they went so quickly with the group photos and the high touch. Like they were really running through the lines. Like you're up, okay, boom boom boom, high five, high five, high five. And that went pretty quickly. I think even more quickly was the group photo. So I was P1, I got to do a group photo. Even more quickly was the group photo, and you're rushing in. If you're one of the last couple people, then that means you really have to move quickly, because almost as soon as you sit down, they were saying, all right, 1 2 3, and ready to take the picture of everyone, which is it was a little bit frustrating for me. So I don't always try to be super cute, but I like to look decent in the picture. So while you were in the line, go ahead, try to make sure that your hair looks decent, reapply any makeup that you may have that you want to put on, because you will not have time once you were on the stage. And disclaimer, so I said DC is nice, and DC really is a very nice area, but DC in February is unpredictable. Unpredictable is probably about the best word that you can say. In February, we've had snowstorms. In February, we've had days that seemed like it was a monsoon, like just drastic rain coming down. And there are times in February where it can be 70 and 80 degree heat waves going on, like it's not the middle of winter. But you just never really know in DC what weather you are going to get in February. And so everyone had coats. Some people probably had umbrellas because it was a little bit rainy that day. And then you have your purse or whatever bag, because you have to carry things around to live. And yeah, so like you're sitting down and you have to put all your stuff at your feet, which if you happen to have your whole outfit situation going on really cute, and had nice shoes, your shoes may have been covered up by your coat and everything else. Personally, my shoes weren't anything special, so that didn't fully matter, but it doesn't make the picture look quite as cute when everyone has their bags and their coats sitting at their feet. And I'm pretty sure there are a few people that missed their beginning picture. If you were one of those last couple people, you missed your first picture because you were still bent over putting your stuff on the ground. So that was a little bit frustrating. I'm very happy to say that I got the pictures back because they released the pictures for all the cities about a week after the last city ended. And I was at least facing the camera both times. So I'm happy about that. You know, you gotta take the wins whenever you get them. So yeah, the pictures moved extremely quickly. You really didn't even have time to interact with the boys that much because you don't really have time to turn around and try to say anything to them. People at the front, I noticed there were a few people that were able to like do a joint heart with a member when they did a picture. Normally that was someone in the first seat or two because I guess they had enough time to turn around and tell them. And also, I don't remember who was at the front of the line, but I think they were also just a little bit more amenable to doing that with the fans. Some of them did funny things behind the fans. Like I feel like Rocky put some bunny ears or something else on some people a few times. But yeah, you don't really get to interact with them. Like they don't really want you speaking to the artist. But you know, people tried it because you paid a lot of money and you don't get that many opportunities to see them anyway. So more power to you if you were able to touch them. For me, it was all a blur. It went so quickly, but I'm really happy. It was fun. It was a great show. The boys in Astro did a phenomenal job. The performances were great. The Q&A was interesting. Whoever the fans are, they asked some questions beforehand. Some of those were some really good questions. And the games were entertaining. So they did their jobs. It was a lot of fun. The boys looked really great up close. Like I said, it was a blur. I just remember everybody looked pretty. Like, they all looked really good. Yeah, I hope that they can come back. There's so much love for Astro here in DC. There's so much love for K-pop here in DC. I hope that they're able to come back. I hope that more artists are able to come through, because especially when you start talking middle of the week performances or fan meets or anything, it's so much easier when they're in your city instead of having to take a day off of work, take a day off of school, buy a hotel. That all gets so complicated and makes expensive tickets that much more expensive. But yeah, it was a great time. They were great. Thank you to the promoters for bringing them here. I hope that you bring more people here. If you weren't able to make the show, I hope that you're able to make a fan meet or a concert. If you were able to make the show, feel free to leave comments and let me know what you thought about it. I will go ahead and end this with a few clips that I took because we weren't allowed to have cameras, but you could bring your phone clearly and you could take video and photos with your phone. So I do have some video clips that I took with my phone. I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you for watching.
They saw three.
장하시는 고양이.
Four. 3, 4, 5.